Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Carrying on with predicting the semi-final qualifiers. So we've talked about semi-final 1, that's done, and now we're moving on to semi-final 2, and hopefully trying to pick out the 10 qualifiers. Now, in my last video, I said that semi-final 2 is looking a bit stronger, and a lot of people have mentioned that out of the two, semi-final 2 does seem a bit stronger. There's a lot of big favourites in this semi-final, a lot of my favourites as well, and in general some really popular songs. We've got the Netherlands, Switzerland, Norway, you've got Belgium in there, Greece, and you've got Italy performing as well. So yeah, this is a very strong lineup and a strong semi-final. I think as well, semi-final 2 feels a bit louder than semi-final 1. Semi-1 had a lot more ballads. There are a few ballads in this, but there's a lot of really high energy songs. A lot of rock songs are in this semi-final, so the whole thing just feels a bit more louder and more energized than the first semi-final. In terms of the running order, my prediction was that Austria would open. It's actually Malta, which does make sense. And I think we all knew the Netherlands were going to close. It's just the obvious thing to happen. No surprise at all. And it's really exciting, actually, because, it's one of the favourites and it keeps you waiting till the end to find out what it's going to be like. I can't wait. So I'll start with who I think is definitely going through, and it was fairly easy to pick out definite qualifiers. It was really easy, actually. There's quite a big group of them that you can really see definitely qualifying. First of all, of course, the Netherlands. In fact, I think the Netherlands will be the winner of this semi-final. And it just really makes you think of Karia last year. It just really takes you back to that. A big televote favourite closing the semi-final and winning the semi-final, and probably being an overall televote favourite in the final as well. It does make you think they've got something big planned for the staging as well, and this is the one that everyone's looking forward to, the one we're all waiting for. It's the viral moment, the viral hit of the year. So I think we all expected this to be the closer. And yeah, I just feel really excited to find out what they've actually got planned for the live performance. It could be huge. So the Netherlands definitely qualifying. Switzerland is another big favourite to win the whole thing, actually. So yeah, I think this will be going through. And Greece as well, which is actually next to Switzerland in the running order, which does seem a bit of a surprise that they've done that, to put those two next to each other. But it shouldn't be too harmful, hopefully. I think they should both stand out enough to get through, and they are both very different as well. Greece is another one. Well, actually, Greece and Switzerland, they're all songs that I think we're all looking forward to finding out what the staging will be. And yeah, I think this could be a good year for Greece. A better year than last year, anyway, that's for sure. I assume that Belgium will qualify. It's another big fan favourite. Again, the only potential problem could be staging. I know that people have pointed out that Belgium are not always good at staging, although I think Gustav had good staging in Liverpool. But again, even so, I think it is good enough to qualify. I'm not sure about winning overall, because I know there has been talk about this being a potential winner. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I think it'll be another good year for Belgium. I think it is going through. And of course, Norway, another big fan favourite, another one of my favourites as well. Such a good performance at MGP. It will be just as good. Yeah, of course it's going through. Yeah, I mean, it really does show just how good this semi-final is. I'm not saying that semi-final 1 is bad, but semi-final 2 is very good. So they are the really obvious ones, I think. But then I have got a list of other likely qualifiers, countries I think will also go through. I think Austria is one of them. I imagine Colleen will give a good performance. I know it's a fan favourite. I still don't think Austria will do as well in the final as people want or as people think. Until we see a live performance, I'm really not sure, because I still kind of think that it could fall apart potentially, but then it could be amazing on the other hand. So I'm really not sure, but I think people will like this, and I imagine Colleen is a good performer, so I think it will be enough to go through. I do think Armenia can make it. I think it's a lot of fun. I think a lot of people will really like it. It's very traditional, kind of nostalgic as well. I think it kind of brings you back to the earlier days of Armenia in Eurovision because it's so traditional. I imagine it'll be a very colourful, vibrant performance. So yeah, I think they can make it. And I would like to think that Georgia can finally qualify. I think this could be, or it should be, the year that Georgia gets back into the final finally after, what is it, about 8 years? Very long time. But I mean, this is good enough to qualify, I think. It'll be a shame, actually, if it doesn't, because I do think it's Georgia's best effort in a really long time. I think this could be a really good performance as well. She's got good vocals and dancing as well. It could be the whole package. So now I think we need to talk about who is not going through. And I think I do have an idea of the group of countries that I don't think will make it, but I've also got a few question marks over some countries that are kind of in the middle, in between. Just like in semi-final 1, I had a lot of question marks over countries. For semi-final 1, I had one definite non-qualifier, and it was Iceland, maybe Azerbaijan as well. But Iceland is actually could be the only standout non-qualifier in the whole competition. So with this semi-final, there's nothing bad at all, to be honest. You know, it just shows how strong, how competitive this year is. But there are 5 countries that cannot go through. So it has to be someone. So I haven't actually used the phrase definite non-qualifier. I haven't really used the word definite here, but I have got an idea of who is probably not going through. One of them that stands out to me is Albania. First of all, I think Albania have ruined the song with the revamp. Very, very disappointing revamp. I mean, the fact they turned it into English in itself was a huge mistake, a bad move, because I actually really like the original song, but the revamp is just unnecessary. It doesn't help it. In fact, it makes it even worse. And you could argue that it was always going to be a borderline qualifier anyway, but I think it's really being damaged now by the revamp, the song being completely changed, and the fact it just might not be strong enough anyway. I still think that Czechia are in trouble. I think they always were. To be honest, they've done a revamp as well. I don't think it's changed the song that much. I've never been a huge fan of this song. Um, I really did not like the national final live performance. That was terrible. I assume this will be better, but I'm not sure how much they can save it, really. In terms of the running order, it's in between Switzerland and Austria, so that doesn't look too great. So yeah, I just don't think it's strong enough, and I do have it on my list of non-qualifiers. I'm worried about Malta. So they're opening the show. There's quite a few girl bops in this semi-final. You've got Greece, Georgia, Austria, and this is probably one of the weaker ones of all of them. And I guess you could say this has always been a borderline qualifier as well. If I say it's not qualifying, then what that means is that I've got the two opening songs of the show, Malta and Albania, both not qualifying. So maybe that's not possible. Maybe one of them has to, or maybe they both won't. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's interesting how I've got the first two performances, Malta and Albania, I've got them both down as non-qualifiers. I do think San Marino could struggle. It's a shame because it's great to have Megara doing Eurovision. And the good thing about this is that you've got Spain, because of course they are Spanish, and Italy voting. So they've got support from those countries. But will that be enough? Still might not be enough. I think you need more support, really. And I just got this feeling San Marino don't usually do that well. So I can just picture this just not making it. It is growing on me, actually, and I think there could be room for it. There is a place for it. I've just got this feeling that it really could be one of the countries that unfortunately just doesn't make it. So let's talk about everything in between that I haven't mentioned and that I'm not sure of. And I'm starting to wonder about Estonia. Recently, I've started thinking about this, and I'm starting to feel like this might actually be in trouble. If we are going to have what we call a shock non-qualifier, I think it could be Estonia. And I've seen other people talk about this as well. It seems to have gone down in people's ranking, people's estimations. I think the novelty has kind of faded away. Like, yeah, it was fun to begin with. It is fun, but I'm just thinking now with the competition it's involved in, with the competition that surrounds it, it might not actually be strong enough. One of the problems I think with this is staging. The national final staging was very dark. The outfits were all dark. It looks like they're kind of fighting with each other at some point. People just might not get it. It is a lot of fun, and you know the dance routine is really fun. But I've got this feeling now that this is not a guaranteed qualifier anymore. I know it's televote only, and because it's really fun, it is the type of thing that people will like. But I do think if we're going to have a fan favourite, because it still is a bit of a favourite with some people, if we're going to have something like that that could shock non-qualify, I think it could be Estonia. I think something we're all worried about is Latvia. Now, I've always been a hollow defender, a hollow supporter. I've always really liked it, and I think it's a shame that it's just not talked about. It's underrated. probably won't qualify, I know that, but I just have kind of like a soft spot for it. Like I'm really rooting for it, and I would like it to go through, but I know it's very likely that it probably won't. The good thing about this, and I do think this is a positive thing, it actually does stand out because we don't have many ballads, you know, really slow ballads like that at all. Well, in the overall competition this year, really, but especially in this semi-final. So that could be a good thing because it means it slows things down. It's a bit of quiet amongst the chaos of everything else. He's got a really good voice. I really like his voice. But people have commented on the fact they think it's boring, that the staging is boring. I don't think the staging is a problem, really. I don't know what you can expect from that anyway. What can they do with the staging? But I think the problem is that it could get forgotten about. People might find it boring and it really could get left behind. So I'm expecting it not to qualify, unfortunately. And I know for Latvia, it has been a while since they have. So it will be another unfortunate blow for Latvia, missing out yet again. It's a shame because I think this is actually quite good and one of their best efforts in a while, I think. But for televote only, it's probably not going to stand out and make people want to vote for it when there's a lot of other things that people will want to vote for. So there's two countries left, Denmark and Israel. So Denmark, I think the song is actually quite good. Like it's not bad at all. I do think it's something that would benefit from juries if juries were still voting in the semi-finals, but they're not. It's televote only. So maybe it's more of a jury song, I think. So yeah, this is just one that we're just really not sure of. It could go either way. It's always been borderline, I think. It's not like a strong, certain qualifier. But I think it's a bit of an improvement from recent years. The staging from the national final is good. I know there are a few people in the fandom who do like it. It has got a bit of support, but it's something that I can see just about missing out and maybe even being like 11th place. So the one country that doesn't quite get through but was close to getting through. So Denmark is a little bit uncertain for me. It could go either way. Really not sure. And then you've got Israel, and of course there's so much controversy over this. People don't even want them to be there. So it's really hard to figure out what to say about this and how to treat this, how to talk about this in the same way as everything else. But as it stands, they are taking part, they are in the running order. I have heard the song, I've only heard it properly once, and every now and then I hear little snippets of it. I actually don't think the song is all that good, to be honest. I think it sounds kind of outdated. Yeah, she's got a good voice, but the song, it just was very outdated to me. When I heard it, I had this feeling it felt like an X Factor winning song from 2012 or like a Demi Lovato song from 2012. So I mean, I don't think it's that good. And also the running order is really not good. The in between Israel and not Israel, Italy and Norway. That's not a good running order. So I really don't know what to think about this. Could it absolutely sail through no problem at all? Or Will it not make it? I feel like it probably will make it, but I've actually got Denmark and Israel together with a big question mark over them. I would rather Denmark qualify and Latvia. Yeah, I would rather Denmark qualify. It could happen, but I'm really not sure. So for the 10th qualifier, I haven't actually got a confirmed 10th qualifier. I've got a question mark over Denmark and Israel, and I've got Latvia as a non-qualifier, unfortunately. So I have got a list of qualifiers, technically 11 because of the whole Denmark and Israel confusion. So I've got, of course, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Norway, Belgium, Greece, Armenia, Georgia, Austria. I have got Estonia on there. I know I said that I wasn't entirely sure. I wouldn't be absolutely shocked if it doesn't make it, to be honest, but for now I'll say, yeah, okay, it could make it. And then at the end, I've got Denmark or Israel, one or the other. So, yeah, not really a final list because I couldn't decide on the 10th qualifier. But everything else there, I think, is actually quite decent, quite a decent prediction, I think. I could be wrong with some of them, of course, but it felt a tiny bit easier than semi final one for some reason. So let me know, who do you think is qualifying for the final? What do you think of my prediction that I've just made? Do you think I'm wrong with any of them? Do you not agree with any of them? Feel free to let me know. My next video, I will say first of all, actually, like I said at the start, my prediction is the Netherlands will win the semi-final, or that's the obvious choice for now anyway. So yeah, my next video, well, I definitely want to do a winners prediction video at some point. I will definitely be talking about that because there's quite a lot to talk about. I'm not sure whether to do it before or after the pre-parties. I'm going to the Amsterdam pre-party in 2 weeks' time. And I will try and film some performances if I can. I would like to do a little bit of filming while I'm there, but I don't know if I'll do a video before that or after. We'll see. I'm not sure, but you'll definitely see me very soon at some point. So thank you for watching both of my semi-final predictions. Of course, things can change when we actually see the performances live, see it all come together on TV. Anything could change. But for now, let me know your thoughts and I'll see you very soon. Bye.